About 3 years ago, I took a rundown garage and turned it into the perfect space solely dedicated to my love for cycling. And I called it the Dutchman's Den. I didn't know it at the time, but that garage would go on to become the origin of this channel. And in 2023, I had to say goodbye to it. But that was okay, because we were moving to a better place. A place where the beer flows like wine and bike parts literally grow in the backyard. I'm talking about a little place called the County, where there's more room to build a bigger and better Dutchman's Den. One where we can fix all the shortcomings of the original version. And there's really only one problem. I haven't started it yet. Oh boy. Welcome back everybody, I'm JT the Dusty Dutchman and welcome to the first video in this series where I'm going to attempt to rebuild the Dutchman's Den bigger and better than it was before. The Dutchman's Den Part 2. Hold on. Why am I using a French word? The Dutchman's Den Part 2. That's not bad. So for the first video in this series, I want to start by getting everybody up to speed. So today we're going to start by talking about how did we get here. Then we're going to go downstairs and I'm going to show you the space that we have to work with. We'll talk about the pros and cons and how it compares with the old space. And then 3, we're going to go over the project plan. I'm going to give you guys an idea of what to expect, kind of how long it's going to take, and what the goals are for the project. All right, first of all, how did we get here? Well, to answer that question, we got to go back to last summer. So back in May, right before the summer was just about to get going, Sarah and I found the perfect house in the perfect neighborhood. So in June, we moved in here and all my YouTube priorities, as you can imagine, started working their way down the priority list. So before I could even think about rebuilding the Dutchman's Den, there was a ton of other work that needed to be done around here first. The yard needed a ton of maintenance, the whole inside of the house had to be repainted, and then we did a full kitchen remodel. And the very first road ride that I went on from this new property, I decided to break my collarbone, which added a little bit more difficulty to everything we were trying to do. But in spite of all the difficulty we ran into last summer, everything got done, and now the fun can start. Well, there it is, in all its glory. Welcome to the future home of the next Dutchman's Den. So let's talk about this space. Now, we're in my basement, which in total is just under about 2,000 square feet. Now, the section that I think is gonna work the best for what we need is this area, which is 27 by 25 feet, which is about 675 square feet, and we have nice 7.5 foot ceilings. Now, the old Dutchman's Den was in a 2.5 car garage that was extra deep. So it was 25 by 24 and it was about 600 square feet. But the big difference here is in the old space, I had to make sure that I could still park 2 trucks inside of it. So I couldn't utilize that whole 600 square feet. Now down here, we have 675 square feet and I can use all of it for whatever I want. Ow, 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 ow. Oh. So, here's the other thing. I made a few miscalculations the first time around. When I designed the first Dutchman's Den, I never thought that I'd be filming videos there. It was just a place for me to work on bikes and to keep things organized. As time went on, I started shooting videos in there a lot, and it kind of became like a studio, which was fine, except for I live in Wisconsin, and in Wisconsin it gets cold. And when it gets cold, that's not a fun place to shoot videos. And actually, if you look close enough at some of the videos that I shot in the winter, you can see my breath, because we could only run a propane heater in between takes. So whenever we were filming, we had to turn the heater off and it got cold. The other part that was frustrating about the old Dutchman's Den was when we did want to film out there, I'd have to pull the trucks out, bring all the camera gear out, get everything set up, start filming. If we didn't finish in time and we had to move it to the next day, we'd have to tear everything back down again, put everything away, bring it in the house, put the trucks back in the garage, and then do it all over again the next day in order to finish a project. Here, we've got heating, we've got cooling, we've got running water, we have all kinds of space to store things. We can set up camera equipment and hopefully leave it there for extended periods of time. And I don't have to pull any trucks in or out of this area. I mean, there really aren't any downsides to this basement. I mean, except for the fact that it's, you know, a basement, and I'll know every time the heater turns on or anytime anybody flushes the toilet. Okay, so lastly, let's talk about the plan for this project, because I think I've broken down the must-haves into 4 things. So first of all, I need to be able to display and or store up to about 12 bikes. So I'll probably do like the last Dutchman's Den and do an accent wall where I can display about 6 bikes, but then I also need a spot where I can either hang or somehow store another at least 4 bikes. Number 2, I need a lot of general storage. Not only do I have a ton of bike parts that I need to store, but I also want to be able to keep all my camera gear down here. I'll have a lot of miscellaneous tools and other stuff that I need to store, and I want to have that all stored in this space. Number 3, which is kind of the core of this whole project, is the bike shop area. I need a really good area to work on bicycles. So I will probably recreate the whole bench and cabinet setup with the slat walls where I can hang all my tools, just like I did in the last Dutchman's Den. And lastly, number 4, I need a little lounge area. I'm thinking couches, coffee table, cocktails, place to watch YouTube, place to do live streams, but then I also have to find a way to incorporate my indoor trainer so I can do Zwift down here as well. And like I mentioned earlier, I want to learn from my mistakes on the last one, and this time around, in all the design elements, I want to make sure I consider the fact that we're going to be filming in here a lot. So we need to make it camera friendly. So what can you expect from this project? My goal is to hopefully get videos out every 2 or 3 weeks, and hopefully the project only takes 3 or 4 months. I don't know if that's, I don't know if I'm setting myself up for failure there, but we're gonna try. You can also expect a much more raw style of video from me. It'll be totally unscripted. You can expect plenty of mistakes. This is gonna be a work in progress. There's probably some things I'll be doing 2 or 3 times over just to get them right, but we will get them right. And in the end, it will be pretty cool. And I'm excited that this time around, I got you guys following along with me. So if you want to get up to speed on the last Dutchman's Den and see what it is that we're actually trying to improve upon, I'll put one of those videos up here. I have pretty high expectations for this project, so I'm hoping that it goes smoothly and I don't spend my entire spring and summer down here trying to finish it, because what I would rather do is get outside and get on my bike, because good things will happen.